What's up, Benfica Nation? Welcome to Season 4 of Mr. Benfica. This is episode 117. I am your host, the Mr. Mike Agustinu. And how is everyone doing tonight? It is Friday night, and Benfica have started for real. And we started this first match off on a good note. I'm not going to be ecstatic about it, of course, because, well, it was Spartak Moscow. And with all due respect to Spartak Moscow, okay, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. Yes, Benfica played very well. They played better than I think they did in the preseason, to be honest with you. I saw more in those 90 minutes than I saw in the majority of the matches I saw in the preseason. But I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We have a long way to go, but match number 1 is in the books, and it was a very good start to the season, okay? Benfica going to Russia, someplace they don't win very often, and Benfica win 2-0 on the road. Goals from Rafa and from, yes, Gilberto. That's right, Gilberto has scored. Gilberto has he has now as many goals in his Benfica career as Adel Taarabt. Yes, I said it. Yes, I said it. You knew it wasn't going to take me long to say that, but Gilberto and Adel Taarabt now have the same amount of goals in a Benfica kit. Gilberto coming off the bench, of course, and providing that goal. Overall, good game. Like I said, I think JJ got the tactics right, and I think that if you saw in the show notes, if you looked at the show notes before joining in here, for those of you watching live, of course, shout out to everybody watching live on YouTube, on my Twitter page and on Facebook right now, as well as everyone watching on www.mrbenfica.com. If you saw in the show notes, I have a link there to an article or an analysis from Lateral Esquerdo, the Portuguese tactics and analysis blog site. They did a real good job breaking down the match. I suggest everyone goes to it. I'll talk about a little bit what they pointed out when we get to the reality of this match, and I'm hoping that this internet signal will keep it good tonight. I see it going down a bar there, and that always makes me nervous. I am on a VPN now, so I shouldn't be getting throttled anymore. Those of you, of course, that followed me during the Euros know that I ran into some internet problems with my internet provider throttling my speeds, so I'm hoping that is taken care of. And I've got the wrong banner there on the bottom. Give me one moment. Change that. There we go. All right. So this is episode 117. Like I said, Mr. Benfica, go to Russia and win. Before that, we got some news to talk about. Okay. I'm going to talk about Olympics for a moment because one of our own, that's right, won the only Portuguese gold medal at the Tokyo Olympics. And you guys probably know by now, none other than Pedro Pischardo, the Portuguese triple jumps 17 meters, 17.98 centimeters in our English metric system. That's about 59 feet and change. Very good jump for the Benfica triple jumper. And Benfica now have the only Portuguese gold medal at these games. And there's another club who thinks they are the Olympic Club of Portugal. There's another club that thinks they win all the medals. Well, there were 2 clubs that took medals, 2 for us, 2 for them, but we got the gold. That's right, we got the gold. So big shout out to Pedro Pischardo. Very, very proud of Pedro Pischardo. I'll talk a little bit more about his jump at the end. I know you guys are here for the football, so let's get right into the football, okay? Again, those of you listening on the podcast, there's a graphic going along the bottom here talking about the 2-0 win over Spartak Moscow, excuse me. I'm going to bring up the starting lineups, okay? I have them here, and we're going to look at it real quick. We're going to start with the Russian side, managed, of course, by Rui Vitoria, as you know, the manager of Spartak Moscow, former Benfica manager, okay? A lot of people throwing hate out at Rui Vitoria. There's no hate from me on that man. He won us 2 titles. Yeah, he had his trouble, but so have others. And I hope that Rui Vitoria has a lot of success in Russia. I hope he wins the Russian Premier League. I hope he loses, 2-0 again in the second leg, maybe more. Against us, obviously, I'm not rooting for him, but otherwise, I am rooting for Rui Vitoria. But here his starting lineup. He's got Alexander Maximenko in goal. I talked in the last episode about how I was concerned about the left side of our defense and how it's leaked goals, and how I was concerned for especially about Grimaldo and Vertonghen playing both on that side, and I was worried about Victor Moses coming down. But it turns out Victor Moses does not make the starting lineup in this match. Instead, who you thought he goes with these four across the back: Nikolai Razakov at right back. Samuel Gigot and Georgi Zikia are the two center backs. The Brazilian Ayrton Lucas is the left back. In midfield, what was meant to be a 4-3-3 turned into a 4-1-4-1. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But on paper here, according to FOTMob, they have it in a 4-4-1-1. I don't necessarily agree with that, but the right side of midfielder is Roman Zobnin. The two center mids, Jorrit Hendricks and Neil Umarov. You have Zalimkhan Bakayev as the left side of midfielder, the number 10, very talented ball-handling midfielder playing down the left flank. In the number 10 position, you have Jordan Larson, who is the son of Swedish legend Henrik Larson. I think you remember him if you're a fan of Celtic, especially, where he made a huge name for himself, but also Manchester United and Barcelona later. Henrik Larson, this is his son, Jordan. He plays in the number 10 behind the striker, Alexander Sobolev. And for Benfica now, we're playing in our familiar 3-5, and I see a comment in there. I'll go to it in a moment. I see we go back to our familiar 3-5-2, okay, or 3-4-3 is really what we shoot for. And you guys know I like this formation. I advocated for it last season. When everyone else was criticizing it. I think we're starting to get the hang of it. If you watch the Euro this summer, you saw just how popular this system of play is. Big reason, outside wingbacks don't defend anymore, so you need three central defenders. That's the biggest reason I see for needing to go to this system of play. You're asking so much offensively of your two wingbacks that you need the coverage. And in Benfica's case, it's more out of a necessity. It's the fact that they have three central defenders. And now I think we have a solid backup in Moratu, so I think the system is going to work. JJ had alluded that they had done the 4-4-2 all preseason, and he had said that he planned on going with the same formation he used in the preseason because that's what they've been working. He was putting on his poker face when he said that because he comes out in the 3-4-3, 3-5-2, whatever. It's a flex formation. It kind of varies, but big surprise in goal. We're going to start there. It's a big surprise in goal. Odysseus Vlachodimo returns to the starting lineup in an official match. A lot of talk out there about this. A lot of people not sure why. My guess, okay, I've been asked this. I'm going to say my best guess as to why Odie gets the start and not Elton Late has to be on form this season in training. Something is there that's not allowing Jorge Jesus to have the full confidence in Elton Late. That's the only thing I can think of because Elton is more a JJ style goalkeeper. He's better with his feet. He comes out better. He plays the crosses better. But Odie shows in this game, he comes up big with big saves. He's a great shot stopper. That's his thing. He cuts the angle. He makes the shot stop. He doesn't catch anything. We get that. But he has himself a very, very good performance in this match here against Spartak Moscow. And JJ goes with Odie. The three center backs, of course, it's Verissimo on the right, Nicholas Otamendi in the center, the general, and Superman Jan Vertonghen is the left-sided center back. Grimaldo and Diogo Gonçalves return at wingbacks. Diogo Gonçalves saw very little action in preseason. Very happy to see him in this 11. Very, very happy he got in there. I think JJ managed it perfectly. He played him about an hour, and then he pulled him and went with Gilberto, who, as we said, made a big impact in this match. The three in the center of midfield, Julian Weigl, João Mario, and Pizzi. And again, I said in the last episode, I'm starting to grow on João Mario. João Mario had himself one heck of a performance, one heck of a night in this match. He introduced himself to Benfica Nation in a big way, in my opinion. And the biggest difference from João Mario versus Gabriel versus Tarap versus Pizzi, even when Pizzi's asked to do that role, is that he loses the ball a lot less. You can see right away, Julian Weigl has to do a lot less running around, covering holes, a lot less recovering, because the guy in front of him is better at keeping the ball and protecting the ball. Benfica moved the ball very well in this match, and I think João Mario deserves a lot of credit for that right now. I'm not going to get too high on him. I'm not going to get too high on this team and on this performance, like I said. And I see the comment in the chat. I'm going to bring it up in just a moment. I think it's alluding to this a little bit, alluding to not getting too high up on this one match, this one early match. But that's the midfield trio. In the attack, you have Rafa partnering with the Swiss Army knife, Aris Seferovic. Let's bring in the comment here from João Coutinho. Good night. My head is on that PSV match already. So important, but very good team. And second leg away with a full crowd. Oh yeah, I hear you. I'm excited about one thing. PSV tomorrow, actually, if you're watching live, if you're listening on the podcast Saturday. They're playing Ajax in the Dutch Super Cup, and my DVR is already set to record that. I'm going to check that out. I'm going to watch them, and maybe I'm going to throw up a little written content, a little written preview, or a little written scouting report on what I see on www.mrbenfica.com. I'll throw that up there this weekend. And or maybe not this weekend yet, because we haven't let's hold our horses. Like I said, this is 2 legs this year. It's not 1 like last year. So we still got to play the home leg next Wednesday against Spartak at the Stadio de Luz with a small capacity, but with some people in the stands. If you saw the Liga B win opener tonight, Sporting played in Alvalade with fans. I'm assuming we're going to have a similar percentage of fans as they had. It made a huge difference. So hopefully we're going to see some loud, some passionate Benfica support in the Stadio de Luz on Wednesday. But yeah, when we go away, assuming we advance, when we go away to PSV, in the second leg, it's going to be a full crowd. I think it's going to be a very, very good test for this team, because this team needs tests. This team needs to be tested. And listen, there's no excuses this season, okay? COVID shouldn't be an issue in this team. The entire team's vaccinated, okay? It shouldn't be an issue like it was last year. It shouldn't wipe out the whole team. At the very least, if somebody gets it, it's going to be 1 or 2 guys, and they may be missing action due to a positive test and not necessarily due to symptoms. Okay, that's at least what they're telling us. That's what the experts say to us. So that's one thing. The other thing, there's no excuse. We had a full preseason this year. Yes, it was short for the guys that went on and played in the Euro or played in Copa America. That's true. It was short, but the majority of the team got together and had a full preseason. And we got the fixture congestion list is a lot less congested this season, because we're going to be playing the same amount of matches over 10 months versus over 8.5 months. Hopefully that is going to make a big difference this season, and hopefully that is going to help us. And also our rivals across town are playing in Europe this season. They played 12 matches less than we did last season. They played 12 matches less than Futebol Clube do Porto and less than Sporting Braga did. This year it'll be more balanced, I think, in that factor. And well, yeah, as João said, I'm also got one eye on PSV as well. Actually, really excited to see them face a team of that caliber. I think a team we're probably going to match up to very, very similarly to, and we got to get through this second leg, of course. And of course, we got our league opener tomorrow, and that's why I'm coming to you tonight to get this match reviewed and watched. But again, I really enjoyed this match. That's something different. At the end of last season, I was on this microphone telling you I couldn't wait for this season to end. It really felt like that down the stretch. We got to the cup final, and it just was a microcosm of what was the entire season. Just enough to get our hopes up, and then to have them crushed against the Sporting Braga team in a match that, yes, we lost, and yes, they deserved to win, but we shot ourselves in the foot. So to me, this clean sheet means so much. And regardless of who JJ's long-term goalkeeper is this season, and this is reminding me, those of you a little older, maybe more my age, those of you in your late 30s or older, remember JJ's first, perhaps you remember JJ's first passage through Benfica. I'm thinking specifically 07, 08, I think is, or 08, 09, whatever his first season was. Similar thing, okay? He surprised everyone when Moreira was in such high form. It's not the same thing, but similar situation in goalkeeping. Moreira was very, very high in the preseason. He had played very well, played a lot of the matches. In fact, even got called in by, if I'm not mistaken, it was Paulo Bento was the Portugal manager at the time. Or it was Carlos Queiroz, actually. Carlos Queiroz actually called Moreira into the national team and gave him his only cap in that preseason window, and that what used to be the August international date. He gave Moreira a cap because he played so well for Benfica in the preseason. In the final preseason match of the season, the Eusébio Cup versus AC Milan. I know because I was in the Bancada Coca-Cola that night. Surprises everyone and throws Keane in goal that night. And Keane played, he was the starting goalkeeper the rest of the season. At that time, inexplicably, because Moreira had regained his form and had outplayed Keane in the preseason. Keane had a rough into the season the year before. And it surprised everyone. And I think he did the same thing here in that he's surprising us going with Odie here. And especially after the relationship seemed to be destroyed between Odie and JJ last season. And then Odie has that disastrous performance in the cup final. But here he is. And he every time he was called on, he was fantastic in this match against Spartak. A lot of good. Yeah, he didn't. I know the same errors. The only problem is he hasn't progressed where we want to see him in his weaknesses. He's still not catching crosses. He's punching or he's parrying things away. But he made a couple big stops when the game was still 0-0, which could have been a completely different match had he not been there and not been well positioned and not made the stop on those plays. Okay, so we've got the lineups there. And, of course, important to remember that away goals no longer a thing in European football. UEFA did away with the away goals rule. They also apparently don't care enough to put VAR in this round. This, to them, is not part of the Champions League. João Gonçalves talked about this on BTV before the match, or after the match, I should say, in the postgame, and he's right. UEFA gives absolutely no importance. They give no respect to the teams playing in this level of the competition, or at this stage of the competition, I should say. They don't use the Champions League ball. They don't play the Champions League anthem. There's no Champions League branding anywhere in the stadium. Disrespectful. Most of all, no VAR. And like João Gonçalves said on BTV, I am in 100% agreement that VAR is either going to be used or it's not. It's not going to be used sometimes and then not used other times. It's not just when the big teams are playing that you're going to go to the VAR. The VAR needs to be consistently used. There's no reason why a team that qualifies for the Champions League, preliminary rounds or not, doesn't have, if your stadium has the conditions, if it meets the metrics to host a European match, your stadium should be equipped for VAR. That just needs to be one of the minimum requirements. Let's get real here for a minute, okay? And Benfica, of course, without the VAR, 2 penalty kicks were not called. I think at least one of them, the referee points to the spot if he looks at the video. No doubt about it, okay? But it is what it is. They didn't go with it. The match starts off, and in the first 10 minutes, Spartak were the better side. Okay, Benfica started just a little bit slow, just a little bit cautious, I would say. It wasn't even slow, but Jordan Larson has a left-footed opportunity in the 7th minute from a difficult angle, and it was saved in the bottom right corner. This is one of the saves from Odie. Imagine that the save isn't made here in the 7th minute. I think we have a completely different match on our hands. Now, 1 minute later, Diogo Gonçalves gets a header. This should have been 1-0 to Benfica, no question about it. Rafa sends in a nice cross from the left. He finds Diogo Gonçalves at the far post. He gets up in the air. He makes what should have been good contact. However, not a natural header of the ball, as you can see. Doesn't get any power on it, and he does not get any direction in terms of, he basically heads it in a straight line ahead to what he's looking at. The goalkeeper was able to read it. It was right at the goalkeeper. And unfortunately, Benfica don't go ahead 1-0 here in the 8th minute as they should have. Really, Diogo Gonçalves needed to at least get it a little bit to the right or the left of the goalkeeper. An early goal here could have also, made for a different match, maybe a more comfortable match. Maybe we get 2 or 3 goals if this one goes in. But Benfica showing signs early, and once they weathered the first 6-7 minutes of Spartak really attacking, really looking for a goal, Benfica go into complete control mode after that. And, we get another attempt in the 16th minute. It's Pizzi, right-footed shot from the center of the box, but it's too high. And Seferovic sets him up with that one. Pizzi, not his best day at all. A lot of criticism out there on Pizzi for this match, and somewhat rightfully so. It is early in the season, but Pizzi typically starts these seasons on fire. If you look at his career, and I'm talking about Pizzi, of course, you look at his career, the majority of his international caps come in the September and October international windows because he starts seasons so well. And again, he is an important part of this Benfica team. He brings goals and assists, which other players still are not getting up to that level. Should he be our top goal and assist, not our top goal guy, but our top, producer of goals or assists, if you combine them, okay? If you combine the goals and assists, should he be our top guy for that? Probably not. However, he steps up. He is a player, again, that I've said now since I started this podcast. This is season 4 starting tonight. So since I started this podcast, I've said Pizzi is a player that is a mid-level player, okay, or slightly above average. But for portions of the season and for windows of 6-7 weeks, he's capable of raising his game and elevating his game to a higher class. And he can do that for a certain amount of time. He does it every season. There's a point in every season where Pizzi plays at a much higher level than he normally plays. The objective needs to be to harness that when it happens and to ride it as far as you can. The problem is Benfica starts to rely on him, and he's not a player of the level that you can put everything on Pizzi. So I'm a bit concerned he didn't start this season off as well. He did not have a good game yesterday. All right, he is wearing the captain's armband in this one. Not a good match for Pizzi, but I'm hoping that we see the Pizzi of the Liga tomorrow. I hope we see some form. I hope we see an assist, at least a goal or an assist from Pizzi against Moreirense. This is a crucial match right there in round 1. We have to set the tone right. With all the turmoil in the club, the football team needs to get off to a good start to remind people why we love this club and, remind people that it's about the performance on the pitch. Okay, we're all caught up in what's going on off the pitch, myself included, okay? We don't know who our president's going to be, at the end of the year. We don't know what the direction for the club's going to be. We don't really know the financial state of the club, given what's been going on and what our former president was doing. How much money did he take? That's the question. Okay, we don't really know. I mean, maybe the club knows, but we have not been told all the details. So it will be interesting to see what happens here with this club. And I apologize if the feed is going bad. I'm getting a low signal once again. Apologies to those of you watching live. And hopefully that comes back up in a moment. Again, we don't know where this club is going from an organizational standpoint, and hopefully things get organized quickly. Hopefully, like I said, elections get scheduled Hopefully candidates come forward, put themselves in the picture, and hopefully very soon we will know where this club is going. But right now we have to focus. These players and this staff need to focus on the pitch. We move forward. 26th minute. It's Rafa with an opportunity. A right-footed shot from the right side of the box. It was close, but it misses to the left. Diogo Gonçalves sets him up on that one. And I can see that this signal is probably deteriorating. Again, my apologies. I'm hoping that it'll come back shortly. Again, I'm on a VPN and I'm plugged directly into the router. Not sure why the signal is so low. Moving on, 29th minute. It's Pizzi with an opportunity, the best opportunity of the match so far, and it is some good play. This was some real good play from Benfica, moving the ball around well. Pizzi gets the ball at the center of the box, but it is blocked. He takes too long to unload. The ball gets knocked wide to Rafa. He finds Pizzi coming in, arriving late. One of the things Pizzi does well, he trails and then arrives late, gets the inside of his foot on it, but doesn't place it well, and it goes right into the defender. And Spartak avoid danger there. In the 32nd minute, Alexander Sobolev goes into the book for a bad foul on Julian Weigl, and he is booked. And at the same time, just a moment or two later, Seferovic goes down, and Seferovic is holding his leg. It is the first of what I think could be many, many injuries this season, not necessarily to Benfica, but to the players who have just been absolutely maxed out with fixtures in the past 12 months. It looked like a muscle injury, and to me, it looks like a physical wear and tear injury. Not enough recovery time, not enough of an off season. He had a heck of a Euro 2020, Seferovic did. His team went all the way to the quarterfinals, all the way to a shootout in that quarterfinal. So, concerning, but I think you're going to see this happen to a lot of players this season. They just played an 8.5-month season. They played 10 months worth of matches in 8.5 months, and then went and played a major tournament this summer. There's a good chance that some players are even playing in 2 tournaments. Some players, not necessarily in our league, but players for Brazil and for Spain have played in both the Copa America / Euro 2020 and now played in the Olympics this summer. They're bringing a lot of mileage, a lot of wear into the season. Seferovic is a player who's played a lot, and he played a lot last season. So it doesn't surprise me too much, but in the 36th minute, Gonçalo Ramos gets his chance. And again, some of the critics are out already on the kid, 19 years old, coming in a Champions League qualifier, massive pressure on him. And yes, he misses a sitter not long after coming on. Let's see here. He misses it just a few minutes later. And I think that the nerves may have got to him, but he needs the experience. He needs the minutes. There is the other reality that we have 6 forwards on a team that plays with really 1 striker. We have 6. So he has to take his chances when they come. Roman Yarmouk is going to be ready to play soon. He's going to be stepping in. And if Gonçalo Ramos wants to play, he has to finish his opportunities. But you guys know me, how I feel about the young kids. The young kids need patience, and they need opportunity. They need minutes. They need reps. They need to hit a certain comfort level. But for Gonçalo Ramos, we do know his quality as a substitute. He has shown that. And he showed that last season. When called on, he delivers. So he came in. He found it difficult this match. But I think that I'm obviously still very, very high on this player. All right, we're going to move to the second half. And right off the bat, Otamendi tries a long through ball, a nicely played one, but Pizzi is offside. Jan Vertonghen goes in the referee's book for a bad foul in the 47th minute, fouling Roman Zubnin. But then there it comes shortly thereafter, the 50th minute, and it is none other than Rafa Silva. That's right, our Speedy Gonzalez. He gets into space. And this was a nice combination play here. involving several players. Okay, the play goes through Verissimo, goes through Weigl. Pizzi gets on it. It gets to Diogo Gonçalves. Diogo Gonçalves finds João Mario. João Mario and Rafa combine. Ends in Rafa to João Mario. João Mario back to Rafa on the give and go. And Rafa buries the ball in the roof of the goal. He hits the top netting, the upper netting, beats the goalkeeper with somewhat of a trivela there. And he smashes it. He absolutely smashes it by the goalkeeper. Benfica take the lead 1-0 in Russia. I popped for this goal. I was psyched. The first goal of the season. And I was psyched that João Mario had a hand in it. And I'm happy to see the way João Mario looks like he's played with this team for a lot longer. This did not look like his first official match with these players. And yes, he's got some national team comrades in this squad. Pizzi and Rafa especially have played with him in the national team, or specifically, I should say. But I really like, I said in the last episode, what I've noticed about him that I really like is just how smooth of a footballer he is. His touches are very, very smooth, very natural. The ball seems to love his foot, and he makes nice movements, small movements. He's not a fast player. He's not going to sprint past you, but he makes such perfect movements with his body, and he opens his body up so well to receive passes. Okay, this is an underrated quality. And in this match, he just took such good care of the ball. He found the passes. Sometimes it was lateral, sure. Sometimes it was back. But Benfica lost so many fewer balls than we did last season. And he's growing on me. I have to say, I was not excited, like I said, about João Mario coming to Benfica at first. But from what I saw in this match, I think he fits, and I see why JJ wanted him. He fits into what JJ wants to do, and in this 3-4-3, he fits even better. And when you have the chance of having him and Weigl on the pitch together, and when Miete is ready to come on in, the three of them together, I said this in the previous episode, with a double pivot of Miete and I believe that's his. I don't want to mispronounce his name. It is Miete. I didn't want to mispronounce his name there. When you get him in and you put him in a double pivot with Uli and Weigl, and then you get a ball handling guy like João Mario at the tip of that triangle in midfield, I love it. I think that's going to be a strong midfield. We still got Florentino as well, who I'm huge on. And I think if given the opportunity, Florentino is going to blossom with these type of players around him. I mean, you play Florentino. You can also play Florentino as a true holding midfielder in a number 6 role with Weigl and João Mario playing side by side next to each other, or Weigl and Miete playing next to each other, or Miete and João Mario. Any combination of that, I think, is going to be a very good midfield. And you put them together, I think Benfica is going to be so much stronger in the center channel this season. And they're going to protect that back three much better this season if, these players play to their capabilities. A very nice goal here from Rafa Silva, due in large part to a beautiful ball from João Mario. Benfica continue to put up the pressure, and it's Otamendi with an opportunity in the 52nd minute. Just 2 minutes later, he gets a header from the center of the box off of a cross from Pizzi, but it is blocked. 58th minute, and again, it's Pizzi, a right-footed shot from the center of the box, once again blocked. Pizzi's just a little bit slow to pull the trigger so far this season, at least in this match. Not up to full speed yet, not up to regular season speed, if you want to call it that. I'm hoping that Pizzi picks it up, like I said, because with the talent now we have in that midfield, Pizzi could find himself on the outs, and he's the club captain. I don't want to see that. I want to see him fight for a spot, and I want to see him play to a level to which he can keep his spot. And hopefully, Pizzi Pizzi raises his game and plays his normal early season form, because I love that Pizzi, and that Pizzi delivers for this Benfica team. He has time and time again throughout his time in Benfica. The early season version of Pizzi and the late season version of Pizzi sometimes. It's that middle window where Pizzi really struggles. But I'm hoping that this was just a bad night for him, and that he's going to recover well, and that we're going to see a different Pizzi tomorrow. Rui Vitória goes to the bench in the 58th minute, and it is Mikhail Iganatov coming on for Roman Zobnin. And then another attempt saved, and this time it's a right-footed shot from the center of the box by Gonçalo Ramos. He gets on the end of a ball from Pizzi, but the goalkeeper makes a nice save, and in the bottom right corner. Benfica continue to push the issue. However, they caught on the counter here in the 61st, and it's Zilmikan Bakayev, the number 10, who gets the ball. Left-footed shot from outside the box. It's close, but it misses to the left. And again, Odi was in good position for that one, and that's what Odi does well. Another through ball attempted by Nicolas Otamendi in the 63rd, but Julian Weigl is offside. Substitution in the 64th. On comes Cebolinha. That's right. Everton replaces Pizzi. Tough night for Pizzi, like we said. Also in the 64th, Gilberto comes onto the pitch. That's it for Diogo Gonçalves. Again, very few minutes in preseason, very few reps. Good outing for Diogo Gonçalves in 65 minutes. I couldn't have asked for more from him. He delivered and did exactly what the side needed him to do. I think his manager would have been pleased with him. Gilberto, who played pretty much all of preseason, comes in. Gilberto delivers here. And really no drop-off down the right, which is a good sign. And, the former Fluminense man is fighting for his spot in this team. A lot of people want him out. He hears the noise. Maybe, he's fighting for his spot. Rui Vitória returns to the bench in the 67th minute. On comes the former Liverpool, Chelsea, and Nigeria international Victor Moses. He replaces Bakayev, and he quickly it's a heads up for Gilberto as Moses comes in to play on the left side. He replaces Bakayev, but again, Benfica in complete control of this match, playing very well, moving the ball well. Positioning is very good. I'll get to the Lateral Esquerdo article in just a moment, and they explain it really well. Otamendi with another opportunity in the 68th. Grimaldo with the cross. Otamendi, a header from the center of the box, but it's blocked. Again, somewhere in here is the calls for another penalty. In the 69th, it's Gonçalo Ramos again, right-footed shot from very close range. This is actually the sitter I was talking about earlier. I didn't realize it happened this late in the match. This is the sitter. Julian Weigl gets on the end of a corner, flicks it towards the goal. All Gonçalo Ramos has to do is get it down, get it on frame, and it is going to go in because the goalkeeper is beaten, but Gonçalo Ramos can't direct it at goal. It goes high and wide. Another save for Odi in the 71st, and it is Victor Moses, left-footed shot from the left side of the box. Top center of the goal, saved by Odi Seish. In the 72nd, here it comes. It is none other than the guy we talked about, the guy fighting for his place in this team, the guy who wants to be in this side, the guy everybody wants to cast away, everybody wants to get rid of. It is Gilberto getting on the end of a beautiful pass from Lucas Verissimo. Great match for the Brazilian center back in this one. Lucas Verissimo, maybe one of his best matches as a Benfica player. I said this at the end of last season that maybe the injury was a good thing from a Benfica standpoint. Not so good for Lucas Verissimo because I'm sure he wanted to go to Copa America with Brazil. The injury prevented that and thus got a fantastically got a nice long off season to recover, and I think it shows because Lucas Verissimo is in fine form right now. Delivers a beautiful pass here, a beautiful through ball, and Gilberto makes no mistake about it, buries it past the goalkeeper. 2-0 to Benfica. Benfica continue to press forward. 76th minute, a double substitution for Spartak. Alex Kral, the Czech Republic international, replaces Jordan Larson, and also it's Argentina international Ezequiel Ponce That's right. It is Otamendi's Argentina teammate Ezequiel Ponce replacing Jorrit Hendricks. And Spartak looking for anything to try to make it more of a game, coming back to the luge next week. But it is Gonçalo Ramos with another opportunity in the 82nd minute, left-footed shot from the center of the box, but high and wide. Substitution in the 83rd, double substitution. On comes Adel Tarabt for Rafa Silva. And on for his Benfica official debut, first team official debut, it is Gil Dias. Comes in for Grimaldo and gets a little bit of a run out, gets a little bit of experience here. The young Gil Dias, the converted left wingback, who I think is going to replace Grimaldo at some point. When that day comes that Grimaldo is in fact sold and Benfica cash in on that investment. Should that be this season? Who knows? But I think for the future, that Gil Dias is a player that Rui Costa, at least, if not Jorge Jesus, has in mind for that position going forward, because we don't know how long JJ is here for. His contract goes through this season. After that, who knows? I think Rui Costa is obviously thinking further, and also the new sporting director there, Rui Pedro Braz, as well, thinking forward. And I think Gil Dias is a versatile player who can be plugged into a couple of positions. Benfica see out the result. There's not much else to talk about. One more opportunity in the 90th +2. It's Everton with the right-footed shot from the left side of the box, but it's right at the goalkeeper, set up by Gil Dias. So Benfica get the victory. They win 2-0 on the road. Let's go then to the goal point. I'll put it up on the screen here, and we'll look at how the players rated in this match. There you see the goal point, and here is the... We will actually make it bigger here. So for Spartak, we're going to start with Mash Kiminko. The goalkeeper gets a 6.1. Let's actually look at some of the analytics here. Spartak get an 0.3 expected goals. That's a good defensive performance from Benfica to allow them to such a low XG. They finish with an average 5.29 rating, while Benfica have an XG of 1.6 goals and, played up to that performance with 2 goals scored, a 6.44 average rating. Back to Spartak's ratings now. Kraskakov on the right back position, 4.9. Gigot, 5.7. Zikia, 5.7. And Ayrton, 5.3. Bakayev, 5.5. Hendricks, 5.4. Umirov, 5.8, Zobnin, 5.5, Larson, 5.1, and Sobolev, 3.6. Not a good day for the striker. For Benfica, we can also look at the substitutes for Spartak. Ignatov, 4.7, Moses, 5.2, Kral, 5.0, and Ponce, 5.0. Benfica, Vlatko Dimos with the 6.6 in goal. A good performance, like I said. He did everything he needed to do. Diogo Gonçalves, 6.3 at the right wing back. Lucas Verissimo with the monster performance, massive performance, 8.0 on the goal point. That is high on this rating system. Goal point is consistently lower ratings than other analytic sites. For example, FotMob is always at least a point higher on each player than the goal point is. Otamendi, 6.6 for Tongan, 5.9. Grimaldo, 6.1. Weigl, 6.9. João Mario, a 6.5. On FotMob, it's worth noting he's the player of the match with an 8.3. So that just shows you the difference in whatever the software is and whatever the specific information and data they use to come up with these ratings is. Rafa has a 7.8 with the goal. Seferovic, 5.3. Pizzi, 5.9. Off the bench, Gonçalo Ramos, 4.7. Everton Cebolinha, 4.7. And Gilberto, look at that, 6.9. Maybe the highest rating I've ever seen for Gilberto. We look at Lucas Verissimo here. You can look at his heat map, and he spent a lot of time here at the top of the defensive third. He had an assist. He had a pass ruptura. That means he broke the lines on a pass. He had 3 steals, 5 interceptions, 8 clearances. Okay, and he cleared away, or he blocked 3 passes or crosses, and won both of his aerial duels. That was the man of the match there for Lucas Verissimo. Some more statistics here. Benfica 15 shots to 7. 5 of those on goal. 40 actions in the opponent's penalty area. I love this stat because this tells you where they're playing, where Benfica are possessing. This tells me more than possession, of course, because this tells me where the match is being played, and you can see the difference there. The actions in the opponent's penalty area, Benfica 40, Spartak 16. 5 corners to 4 in favor of Benfica, 88% pass efficiency with a very good 75% vertical pass efficiency. Benfica with 9 defensive actions in the opponent's midfield, while Spartak pressed a bit. 13 actions in Benfica's midfield. Benfica committed 13 fouls to Spartak's 10, and 58% of possession to Benfica. Okay, let's take a look then. I'm not going to pull up the Lateral Esquerdo article on the screen because it has video content on it and I don't want to get taken down, but I will go over what they say here. I have the link in the show notes, and you know what I will do is I'll also put it in the chat right now for anybody watching. I will throw the link to the article in the chat. There it is. It's going to show up on all my accounts, but there's the link. You can see the article there. The videos are there. I do recommend checking it out. They break it down really well on where Benfica won this. Pedro Pischardo, who gave the pre-match analysis on Canal 11, and he's actually the performance and analyst for Boa Vista. He works for Josualdo Ferreira, and it's very, very interesting that he's doing some work for Canal 11 still. He is the founder of Lateral Esquerdo, so a lot of this analysis comes from him, but we break it down, and I'm looking right now at a still image of Benfica and their defensive setup in their 3-4-3 versus Spartak's 4-1-4-1, and he compares it to the Portugal versus Germany match in the Euro, and the difference was Benfica were nowhere near as efficient as Germany were in that match, and that's why it was only a 2-0 result. But again, Benfica overloaded the flanks, and Spartak had no answer for it. Rui Vitória's side, apparently unprepared. Perhaps they prepared for the 4-4-2 that Jorge Jesus was playing all preseason. Not sure. But if you go there, you can see the still image, and you can see the lines where Benfica were playing. Again, the 3-man back line, the high wing backs, and then a very good double pivot in midfield performed by Weigl and João Mario, controlling the game completely out of there. And again, Rafa Pizzi playing into the gaps, going from the outside to the center channel, while Haris Seferovic and then later Gonçalo Ramos playing in the striker role, trying to get on the end of it. The other key was Benfica was very, very successful in passing out of the press. So in this match, Spartak really tried to press Benfica. They tried to make Benfica's back line play out of the back. And that turned out to be a mistake, in my opinion, because, well, they very easily found the wingbacks, who very easily found Weigl and João Mario, who from there passed. Again, you see, when a team presses, the team has to press together. If one player in the press is not where he's supposed to be at the time he's supposed to be, somebody's wide open and they're allowed to turn, and then the team pressing is now at a disadvantage. And they show it. They show it there. They have a video that you can watch if you're looking at it, and it'll freeze it for you, and it'll show you just the combination play, like I'm watching right now. Benfica finding Rafa in the gaps. Of course, after passing out of the back, after finding the outlet pass or finding Weigl and João Mario, they quickly find Rafa, and we know what Rafa can do in transition. Rafa, his strength is playing in transition. He did a lot of that in this match. He was very, very important for Benfica. And then with the wingbacks playing so high, they gave additional options wide, created those overloads on both sides, and Spartak unable to cope with that. So again, Benfica did everything right. Tactically, the better side. Of course, technically, the better side as well. Better players. Um, they were more efficient as well. So, all in all, a very good performance from Benfica. Again, I don't think that this Spartak team is very good, so I don't want to get too high on it. But if you compare them to a team in our league, I think this is a solid result. If this is a Vitória Guimarães, or this is a Passos Ferreira, Santa Clara, maybe a Braga. I probably would rate Braga higher. I definitely rate Braga higher than Spartak. But it gives you an idea of what to do. Now, what I want to see is how Benfica play when they're not under the press, because we're going to see that tomorrow. When we see Moreirense up in Moreira dos Cónegos, they're not going to press high. They're going to sit in deep. And how do Benfica find the spaces between the lines? No João Mario against Moreirense, of course. So that's going to be another issue. Either Tarapt, or I don't think Miete is going to start there. So it's going to probably be either Tarapt or it's going to be Tarapt. I think I think it's going to be Tarapt playing in that position that João Mario is going to vacate. I can't see anyone else getting the start, unless he decides to go with Miete and pull him after 55 minutes or something, 45 minutes. Maybe he splits the match between Miete and Tarapt. I don't know. Again, Gabriel not an option. We're looking for a club for him. Luka Waldschmidt could play in that position. They don't seem to use him there. When he was in Germany, he played a deeper lying, attacking midfield role. He could be an option there, but I don't see JJ going to it. He's never gone to it before. Judging by what JJ's done in the past, I think he's going to Tarapt. That's what I expect to see tomorrow. In place of João Mario, you could play one of the kids there. Maybe he plays Jetson. Jetson's an option too, but I didn't mean Jetson. I meant to say Florentino. Maybe he plays Florentino and Weigl plays in João Mario's role alongside Pizzi. Who knows? That's an option. I don't know what JJ's going to do. Like I said, it's very early in the season, and he's not predictable yet. But all in all, I like the way he managed this match. So I am confident going into Moreira dos Cónegos tomorrow. Just concerned with, João Mario proved to be a very important part of this team. As far as at the striker role, not sure. Maybe he's going to go with Gonçalo Ramos. I think Seferovic is injured. Darwin is injured. Roman Yarmakov, he just arrived. So I don't think we're going to see him from the start, or maybe we see him get the 60-minute, shift, and Gonçalo Ramos gets the last 30. Who knows? Something along those lines could happen. Luka also an option again as well. Luka's a versatile player, Luka Waldschmidt. We'll see. We'll see where JJ's head's at tomorrow. I'm excited for this match, and I'm interested to see where his head's at and going into the second leg, what exactly he is going to do. So we're going to do right now, we're going to take a short break here. Okay, for those of you watching on YouTube, I will be right back. For those of you listening on the podcast, all right, you know what it is. It's halftime. It's halftime of the podcast. You're going to get a little music, and we will be right back in just a moment. And make sure you go and follow me on Twitter. I got it right there on the screen for those of you watching. Don't forget, I'm using my personal Twitter now. You can still follow at Benfica Mister. That is the show's Twitter. I'll still post, episodes there. I'll still post content there. But to get more of my views, my reactions, follow me at Mike Agostinho. That's at MikeAgostinho. All right. And of course, follow on Instagram at Mr. Benfica and at MAgostinho20 at MAGOSTINHO20. And you can follow me there as well. And don't forget, check out www.mrbenfica.com. Be back in 30 seconds. All right, we're back here on Mr. Benfica episode 117. Start of season 4. It starts tonight. Season 4, everybody. Can't believe we are already at season number 4. It seems like yesterday I was talking into my cell phone and doing episode 1. All right, we're gonna change speeds here a little bit. We're gonna change sports. We're going to Tokyo now. All right, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Olympics, Benfica's performance at the Olympics, precisely. 2 medals, okay? And it's very clear that Benfica's Olympic program is completely being supported by 2 clubs. Of course, that's us and our neighbors to the other side of the Circular. And the medal count ended 2-2 down the middle. But it's all Portugal when we get to the Olympics. So congratulations to Jorge Fonseca and Patricia Momona as well. Yes, you are on the wrong side of Lisbon. Yes, you're wearing the wrong colors in the club loyalty side, but it's Portugal. And very happy for both of those athletes and very happy they brought 2 medals to Portugal. But let's talk about Benfica's performance. At least they're 2 medalists. We know outside of the 2 medals, Telma Monteiro had a tough competition, eliminated on the first day of competition in judo. She's medaled before. She had a bronze medal in Rio 5 years ago, sorry. 4 years ago, if you go by the branding, 5 years ago in real time. Didn't have as good of a showing. We did have, the name is now escaping me, and I apologize, but we got a 7th place in rowing yesterday in kayak, female kayak. I believe she's a Benfica athlete as well. And, you had the 2-man, you had another Benfica athlete, in the 1-man kayak on the men's side, also failed to get on the podium, but finished pretty high in the table. But it's all about the 2 medals. My mind is the 1-man kayak is the bronze medal. It is Fernando Pimenta. I don't know where my brain just went. It's Friday night. It is late here on the East Coast. Late for me because I wake up at 2:00 in the morning. But Fernando Pimenta gets himself a bronze medal in kayaking, 1-man kayak. Okay, he's a Benfica athlete. Very, very good performance. But the story for Portuguese athletics this year is on the runway at the Olympic Stadium. My favorite event in the sport here in the United States, we call track and field. The rest of the world, you call it athletics. Pedro Pischardo. What a story about Pedro Pischardo. And I think this is going to prompt a written piece from me on www.mrbenfica.com. I think I'm going to start working on it. If you don't know his story, it is remarkable. And it's unfortunate he's getting some hate from some of the people in Portugal. It's unfortunate some people can't see past his status as, I guess you could call him a refugee. Given asylum in Portugal, he escaped. He defected from the Cuban track team in 2017, okay, when they wouldn't allow his father to continue to coach him. I didn't know this part of his story. This is fantastic. So his father was his coach. And then when he was on the national team, his father was no longer his coach. His performances, or it hit a point where the Cuban government removed his father out of the picture and his performances started to dip. Somehow, I got to do more research. I don't know how this happened, but somehow Pedro and his father both escaped. I believe his mother escaped as well from, in Germany. They planned to go to Switzerland. His father decided we're going to go to Portugal instead because the climate in Switzerland is not conducive to a jumper because of the amount of time, the amount of months in the year you're going to spend training indoors due to the weather and the snow. And for those of you who don't know, I don't talk about this much, but I have a background in track and field and athletics as well. Believe it or not, I used to compete in track and field, and I even coached it for 9 years. That's right. For 9 years, I was coaching both football and athletics, okay? And the triple jump was one. It is my favorite event, and it was my favorite event to coach. I was horrible at it as a competitor. I almost didn't get into the sandpit when I did it. But to coach it, I really enjoyed coaching it. It's such a technical event, you need such dedication to be good at the triple jump. Pedro Pischardo has that, okay? And his father revealed to us that Pedro was going for the world record in these Olympics. That was the goal. He did not meet that goal, okay? He did not hit 18.40 meters or 18 meters 40. That was his goal. He ended up with 17.98, but good enough to win the gold medal. I love this event, and he had a very good start in the prelims, okay? He comes into the finals, okay? In the prelims, you get 3 jumps. Pedro jumped 17.71 in his prelim. This was 2 days ago or 3 days ago, finishing top of the first round, qualifying for the final, and actually passes his third jump because he already knew he had the number 1 seed in the final, and so he gets his season best in the prelims. That was a great start. So he finishes the prelims 58 centimeters ahead of Turkey's Nakati so we move to the finals now. So in the finals, you get 6 more jumps. And I now see, I watch this here in the United States. Those of you watching abroad right now who are not, or listening abroad who are not in the United States, this is kind of not going to relate to you. But I was watching on NBC. I recorded this. This happened at 10 p.m. our time here in the United States, okay? Again, I had to work. I couldn't stay up and watch it. I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning or at 1:30 in the morning to try to watch it before I went to work. Didn't happen because of the way NBC produced their coverage. They threw it, towards the end. And it was a couple hours into the programming, so I had to watch it the next morning. I managed to shut my phone off as far as internet. I shut off the data, shut off the Wi-Fi. I didn't look at my computer. I literally didn't want any spoilers. I knew he was coming in, on a high, and I finally watched it, but they pick it up in round 2. And in round 2, Pedro is already leading. So Pedro's first jump, 17.61 meters, okay? I'm going to pull out my metric to English calculator here. Give me just a moment. And I'm going to convert this for everyone. For those of you here in the United States, we are not good at this. So we need the calculator in order to know how far this is going. But so he jumped 17.71 in the prelims. That is 58.10 feet. So that's about 58 feet. I don't know, an inch, something like that. He comes in, like I said, he jumps 17.61 in his first jump, and that's 57 and 3/4 feet. So 57 feet, 9 inches roughly. And takes the lead early. Okay. He matches that in his second jump. He gets the same exact distance in his second jump, 17.61, 57 feet, 9 inches roughly. Okay. And he is leading. However, in the second round, China's Zhu Yaming picks up a 17.41 jump. So he's only 20 centimeters behind Pedro. That prompts Pedro to the third jump. This is the only one I got to see. This is the only one NBC showed us here in the United States. I now can see why as I look at the final, the final 3 jumps, why we didn't see any of them. But Pedro Pischardo, with his Olympic winning Portuguese record jump, 17.98 centimeters, 59 feet and change, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look that. Let me put that in the calculator one more time. Pretty sure that's what it said it is. So yeah, it's just shy of 59 feet. It comes out as 58 feet, 11 inches. So new Portuguese record. He breaks his own Portuguese record and wins the gold medal on that jump. His fourth jump, he fouls. Fifth jump, he passes. And on his final jump, he already knew he had the gold medal. This is the one where he goes for the world record, and he fouls on the board. You guys do not know how hard it is to go after a record in this event, because it's all about rhythm, and it's all about muscle memory and your body knowing your fast twitch fibers, knowing where you are. If you've never competed in athletics, if you've never done the long jump or the triple jump, you do not look at the board. If you look down to the board, you're going to jump from way behind it. You cannot see directly down in front of you. And where you want the board to be when you jump is directly underneath you. You want your toe to get right up to the edge of that board without going over. That is the key. That is how you break records. Okay. You could see the Chinese jumper, Zhu, when he tried on his final jump to pass Pedro, he snuck a peek at the board. He was running fast. I think he was running faster than he normally does, because the way you do this is you practice running the runway. Okay, whatever many steps you and your coach decide you're going to run. Okay, you practice it and you train yourself to know in your head how many steps you have taken. And when you hit that jump step, your foot hits the ground, you smack it hard and you push off the ground and you take off. Okay, if you run faster than normal or slower than normal, obviously that means when you get to that step, you are not where you want to be. This is what happened to the Chinese jumper trying to catch him. I think he went too fast and actually thought he was further in front than he was. I think he snuck a peek at the board and jumped because he was behind it, and he had a very short jump. His final jump was very short, giving the gold medal to Pedro Pischardo. And Pedro, going for the record again, tries to get everything into it, fouls. It is what it is. But you have to understand how difficult this event is. It is repetition over and over and over and over again, training your body and your mind, your brain to synchronize your steps so that you know where you are. Okay? And then you have to do, in the triple jump, it's even harder because you got to do a hop, a skip, and a jump. And you want them to be as close to even as possible. You don't want a big first hop, okay? Because what's going to happen is you're going to land too hard. You're not going to be able to put, your body is, you're going to have a downward motion. And I used to teach this to kids. And you when you get too big, and the kids, the first instinct is get a real big hop because you're running. And then you land on one leg because you have to land on the same leg you take off from, okay? You switch legs on the second, on the hop, on the skip. On the hop, you have to land on the same leg. If your hop is too long, your body is going to feel the shock and your knee is going to give a little bit. Your weight's going to come down and you're not going to have the strength you need to push off that ground to get up again. You don't want to go high. You want to kind of hover, okay, on the hop and the skip. It's a hover. Too many athletes, if you're not an elite athlete, you jump too high and you jump too far on the hop, okay? Which makes your skip very, very short because you're not getting the push off you need off of the runway. So again, Pedro gets a perfect hop, okay? He's off the ground, but not by much. He gets that hop leg up. He gets his knee up, which is only going to give him more power when it hits the ground, and he times bringing his foot down perfectly so that he pushes off the ground again. His skip is immaculate. I mean, you don't know how hard this is. He gets off the ground on one leg, okay, then in the air has to switch legs so that the other leg hits the ground. Comes off the skip, perfect, and then the jump is off the off leg. So again, you have to know which leg is your better leg. If you mess up your steps, you're jumping off the wrong leg. It's a bad jump. It's so technical. And again, he gets 3 even phases of his triple jump. And in the last jump, you just want to get up and out as far as you can. And you saw him throw his body forward, throw his feet forward, and out to 17 meters 98. Gold medal for Pedro Pischardo. Yes, he is Portuguese. I'm tired of hearing him announces the hyphenated Portuguese. We never called Deco the Brazilian Portuguese, or we never questioned Pep's, loyalty to the national team as a hyphenated Portuguese. Pedro Pischardo gave interviews in Portuguese. He speaks very good Portuguese for a Spanish speaker. It's a very hard transition from Spanish to Portuguese. If you didn't realize that, listen to what Grimaldo still sounds like after all these years. Pedro Pischardo, with half the time in Portugal, speaking very good Portuguese. Yes, with a Spanish accent, but very, very good Portuguese. And gold medal for Portugal, the 5th ever gold medal for Portugal. Fernando Ribeiro. I had this yesterday. Fernando Ribeiro has one. Carlos Lopes, Rosa Mota, Nelson Évora, and now Pedro Pablo Pischardo, P4, as he's known. Pedro Pablo Pischardo Peralta, his full name, P4. Thank you, Pedro Pischardo, for the gold medal to Portugal. He said it. The only way he can repay Portugal for what they have given him was to win the gold medal. But he's still motivated. He wants the world record. He's going to go for it. There's more. He's not done. He's 28 years old. We're going to see him in Paris in 3 years. He'll only be 31. And Paris is the capital of Portugal outside of Portugal. So he's going to be in the Stade de France. It's a stadium that will always hold a special place in the heart of the Portuguese. And let's see if he can go repeat in 3 years in 2024 in Paris. Pedro Pischardo, congratulations. You have made me proud. You have made us proud, especially because you're a Benfica athlete, baby. Benfica win the gold medal at the Olympics. Let's not forget that. Let's celebrate that. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Again, I apologize with some of the connection issues. I don't know how this is going to get resolved. My cable company says they're not throttling my speeds. I say otherwise. But thank you. And that's going to do it for this episode 117. Here we are, a new season. We got a match tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time here in the United States, 10 a.m. Pacific time for my friends out in California and in Washington State. I know I got a few of you out there in Washington State that watch this. Shout out to you guys. You know how much I appreciate the love and support from everybody that watches, listens, and follows me. It means everything to me. Those of you in Portugal, it is a 6 p.m., 18 o'clock kickoff in Moreira dos Cónegos. Benfica traveling to Moreira dos Cónegos. As you know, Spartak started the league tonight, 3-0 win over Vizela, starting the season at the top of the table again. Annoying. Pot has 2 goals already. So tomorrow, I want to see one of Benfica's guys go get 2 goals. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Maybe Yaremchuk comes in and nets 2 of his own. What a way to debut that would be for our Ukrainian striker. And I just want to say one thing before I go about Roman Yaremchuk. I like this signing, and here's why. It is about time Benfica go get a player in his prime. Roman Yaremchuk is in his prime. We saw at Euro 2020 how good he is. Okay, he is the key guy in that Ukrainian attack. He scored some real bangers in that Euro. I'm thinking of one against Poland. I think it was against Poland, or was it against Spain? Sorry, it was one of the early matches. I know I was real high of it on the podcast, on the Parking the Bus podcast. Big performance from him in that tournament. I hope we get to see a lot of that from Roman Yaremchuk. This could be a real good signing for us because, like I said, he's not a kid. He's not purchased for potential to sign again. To sell again. We're not going to sell him for a profit. Okay, he's here to perform, and he's here to produce for us on the pitch, not in the bank, on the pitch, not on the spreadsheet. Again, 28 years old. I love it. I love this signing because, again, he is in his prime. Of course, it makes you think of another Ukrainian we had a generation ago, Yuran, who unfortunately betrayed us later. But similar type of build, similar type of game. He's Ukrainian, just like he was. I'm looking forward to seeing him play. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt Gonçalo Ramos's development, perhaps. Maybe not, because he can learn from him. And you know what? There's a lot of matches. There is going to be minutes for with all the injuries. Gonçalo's going to get his minutes. And I think JJ really, really has liked and appreciated Gonçalo's work this preseason. I think he's going to continue to reward him with the minutes, whether it be off the bench or, in the starting 11. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Hoping I'm not disappointed. Hoping I'm not back to the Mr. Benfica of 2020, 2021. Hoping this 2021-22 season is a new start, a new ascend for us. The club has, the club is in a transitional phase. Things are going to happen this year. Things are going to change, but I'm happy to see it doesn't appear to be affecting the team on the pitch right now. JJ managed a good match. Okay, we'll see what happens with him. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful we get the Flamengo version of JJ this year, and that our team just goes on a tear. Okay, it's going to be a competitive league. I think the league's going to be very, very competitive this season. I think we're better. I think Spartak are even better, to be honest. I think they're going to be even better than last year from a technical, tactical standpoint. They have another year with Ruben under their belt. They've brought in some good players. Ricardo Isgaio, Ruben Vinagre, who I wish we had picked up, but that's water under the bridge. They looked good today. They did. They looked good. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Porto are going to be better as well, I think. I know they got some players in limbo. We don't know what's going to happen, but again, I think they're going to be extra motivated. They didn't win the league last year, so they're going to be motivated. Sergio's going to have them. They're going to have them full of raiva, full of rage, if you will. Going to have them hungry. They're going to go after it. It's going to be a competitive league. I think Sporting Braga also are going to be better this year. Why do I say that? I think they just year after year know how to turn out good teams. Another year with Carlos Carvalhal. They just keep finding players. They just keep building on what they had. And I think Braga, the fixture congestion, the big reason for me that I think all three teams are going to be better is the lesser congestion in the fixture list. And I think the teams are going to play more to their potential. Last year, nobody played to their potential aside from Sporting. So I think we could really have a good race this year for the title. And we'll see. The Modalidades is going to be starting soon. I'm psyched for that. I love the Modalidades. You all know that. Can't wait to get this season underway. It's 2021-22, season 4, Mr. Benfica. Thank you for joining me, like I said. And I will catch you probably either Sunday or Monday with episode 118. We'll review the Moreirense match. And also don't forget to catch the Parking the Bus podcast live this Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern time here in the United States on the Parking the Bus Twitter feed, on the Parking the Bus YouTube channel as well. And if you're watching right now for the first time, thank you. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the little bell next to it so you get alerted every time that I go live. And I'm going to be trying to go live every single episode this season. The goal is to put them all on this platform. So at the end of the season, you'll see a season 4 playlist on the YouTube channel. Also, there's a chance that you may see me in some other locations as well. So looking forward to this season, looking forward to just having Benfica back again. It's no matter how bad a season is when the next one starts, that hope and that excitement it's there on day one. So thank you, and I'll talk to you next time. Don't forget to follow on Twitter at Mike Agostinho. That's at MikeAgostinho. And don't forget to check out www.mrbenfica.com. Follow the podcast on Apple, Spotify, on iHeartRadio, on Audible, on Alexa. Just tell Alexa to play the Parking the Bus podcast. Follow it on TuneIn, on CastBox. Wherever you get your podcasts, Mr. Benfica is pretty much everywhere now. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. Even if you watch the video, please download the show, play it for 5 seconds, and delete it so that I can get some of those listens and try to grow this audience a little bit more. And I'll catch you next time here on Mr. Benfica. This is the Mr. Mike Agostinho signing off. Carrega Benfica, Força Benfica, Pelo Benfica. We are Benfica e pluribus unum. Until next time.